Before we start, I kind of want to set expectations for what I know and don't know about this game. This is a blind playthrough. I have never played it before. I know that something happens. I don't know what the something is. I just know that there's some like dramatic turn in the story. And that's from posts about it when it was really popular when it first came out. So, and I was concerned that might be a pretty big spoiler for this game, but given that the game opens with this big disclaimer that this is not suitable for children or for those who are easily disturbed, I assume that that building of dread is kind of an intentional part of the experience and not something that's really a spoiler. I will say that if you're not a regular follower of the channel, if you're watching this in the future on YouTube, I am a storied hater. Well, not hater. I like a lot of anime, and I'm obviously a really big fan of Japanese culture. I grew up on JRPGs, but if there's one genre of anime that I can't stand, it's Japanese high school students. I'm miserable during it. I played through all of Persona 3 and Persona 4 and was just like, oh my god, let's move on. So when I wish that Doki Doki Literature Club wasn't such a social phenomenon, because it would have been pretty cool if Propagable put this on Subblock and I'm like, oh, you're going to make me play an anime visual novel about Japanese high school students. Fantastic, right? But I do know that there's something more to it than just that. So we're going to play through it with a smile on our faces and see what's going to happen. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. This game is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Individuals suffering from anxiety or depression may not have a safe experience playing this game. By playing Doki Doki Literature Club, you agree you are at least 13 years of age and you consent to your exposure of highly disturbing content. They're not screwing around with that. I thought it would just be like a loading screen disclaimer. Music's kind of delightful. Dot boy. Hey Raker, what's up? Okay. Window is fine. Volume all looks fine. Unseen text. Guess I'll just leave it on. Thank you, Joe man. Been a while. How you been? Hey. See an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. Oh man, if this game is like a parody of dating sims, then that would be the bee's knees. I guess I'm hoping that's kind of where it's going for. Kind of friend you never see yourself making today. I'm also not going to completely read all of the text in this game, but I'll try to call out important lines and bits of the dialogue. No worries, Jaden. When your parents get back from seeing the movie, you can pop downstairs. So walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she'd oversleep more and more frequently. Okay. Definitely playing with the whole harem anime trope. Overslept again. Okay. So not only do I have inner monologue, I have dialogue. Interesting. I feel like I'm going to enjoy this more because I know that it's kind of playing around with the tropiness. Set her on the club to join. What club did I join in Persona 4? Band? I think I bailed out on the social link because it no longer provided any statistical benefit to me. This is by a Western developer, isn't it? You want to learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. I'm also going to go... I know that this game is pretty popular with the kids today, as was Undertale when we played that, so I'm going to kind of delay looking at chat by 3 or 4 seconds. There's a lot of people on the clear button, just in case anybody pops in a little excited about what they're going to share. But don't worry, I'm going to be waiting 3 or 4 seconds to look at chat. My peripheral vision here. Y'all can talk about stuff upcoming and exclamation point hide if you want to avoid spoiling me. Promise you I'll try. Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? So I haven't really ever played a dating sim before. I mean, I feel like Persona is fairly close to that concept, but it's not this first-person storytelling style. Is this what a lot of dating sims are like? Anime-style ones? Clubs. Guess we should join the Heartbeat Literature Club. It looked like the two O's in Doki were trying to look like boobs. I feel like that's intentional. I guess we'll find out. Very par for the course of a dating sim. Gotcha. Is the like the person playing the game often describing things in the first person in a typical anime dating sim? Yeah? There's no way I'm going to your club. Vice president of the literature club, huh? The main character is kind of a massive dick, isn't he? The protagonist. Dan Salvato, he's a big figure in the Smash community. He made 20XDX? No shit, the 20XDX guy made this? Oh man. You tell me that, I've got high hopes now. I'm dating all these wish fulfillment girls. So he made cupcakes. Stop by for a cupcake. I like the whole part of the fantasy, and I'm not sure if this is true for most anime dating sims, but that the protagonist is like uninterested, even though I'm sure the people that have the fantasy of exploring these dating sims are like super thirsty interested. Interesting. Where did he get the art for this? Did he just contract a couple people? Girl 1. Way to kill the atmosphere. This club's full of incredibly cute girls. Five or fewer people, right on. Girl with the sour attitude. You gotta have one with the sour attitude, right? Mm-hmm. Yuri, the smartest in the club. So, there's a Doki Doki Literature Club subreddit, and I haven't filtered it out because it seems like they're pretty good about marking spoiler posts, but it's basically exclusively fan art of these characters. I don't like frequent the subreddit, but it's in my r/all, so it pops up occasionally, and it's like, if this game actually isn't a dating sim, it seems like a lot of the fan community has turned it into a dating sim by doing all this like fan art of the characters. You already know Monika, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again. Popular girl in class, okay. Completely out of my league. Uh-huh. Main character has a lot of personality. He's kind of a dick. She doesn't seem that bad. She made cupcakes. Aw, cat cupcakes. Adorable. I like how much of it is described with text, too. Like they didn't do art for everything. Yeah, it's the Persona 3 main character. Protagonists and dating sims take on a passive role. Things happen to them. Yeah, I could see that. They kind of get dragged into everything. I don't know if that's part of the fantasy. Icing is sweet and full of flavor. It's not like I... made them for you or anything. So she's your Sundara character. Sundara. This is super tropey. Sure. Uh-huh. I'm owe a favor to Sayori. She dragged me here. Yep. Be embarrassed. One thing I kind of like about this game is that it doesn't try to drip feed you into Japanese culture. Like, Persona tries to set you up for it. This game's like, you've played those games. You know. It's interesting to me because Undertale is very similar in that Undertale is sort of exploring this Japanese RPG nostalgia area, and there's all these young people and kids that have never played a Japanese RPG before that love Undertale, and it sounds like Doki Doki Literature Club is pretty popular too. So maybe like the dating sim satire isn't core to people's enjoyment of the game. I imagine it's the shocking content, right? It's like Five Nights at Freddy's or something that gets all the elementary school kids excited. Forbidden games. You loathe the Sundara archetype. Yeah. I think, have we seen... I guess you see some of that in Western movies. It's not just an anime thing. Monika really is a great leader. It'd be hard to start a new club. There's certainly a lot you can do with visual novel dating sim satire. I could still do that, my Doki Doki rate monitor. Maybe we'll do that for tomorrow. DPM. Which one's Yandere? Can't really keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. They haven't talked about a single book yet. Manga. Oh, she secretly likes manga too. What about you? Novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. Yeah, okay. I like lore building. That's kind of what I get invested in most stories. God, I hope this game comments on the waifu shit, man. I can already think of a lot of ways that you could play on that. So deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination, completely throw you for a loop. Horror book ones. I desperately grasp something I can relate to on a minimal level. Or at least she's aware, at least the main character's aware of being ignorant. How's it going? If you think or takes you into the world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Are you gonna do like a Lovecraft kind of thing? Nani? It's interesting how a Western developer can write a game that feels like it was translated from Japanese. So you immerse yourself in enough anime and Japanese media, it's pretty easy. It's challenging. You can go full parody pretty easily, like Futurama has that anime parody episode. Not a confident writer. Truest form of writing is writing to oneself. That's fair. Most good writers I know are super perfectionists. They don't want to share anything until they've edited it a billion times. Yeah, that's what I mean. A lot of outright parody is way too surface level. Again, like that Futurama episode. It's funny, but it doesn't really get at any of the subtleties of it. I'm gonna go write our own poems. Actually, a reasonable idea. Still one problem. Now, why is this game free on Steam? I wonder how much that's... It seems like such a phenomenon. I feel bad for the developer that not even selling it for like 99 cents and getting a little bit of change. They have any kind of revenue model? Never said I would join the club. Be a jerk, main character. That'd be great. Call the game Doki Doki Literature Club and you don't even join the club. Buy merchandise? Okay. Oh, they're all simultaneously dejected. I'd be interested to see what the next project is then, yeah. Yay! If you really just gave the cupcakes, I'd be super pissed. Alright. A lot of people wouldn't touch the game if it wasn't free. That's a really good point, Spiky. Yeah. This has got to be one of those games that's incredibly challenging to convince the audience for it to play, especially if they don't have the patience through the beginning part. I can see the importance now of the disclaimer both on the download for the game and when you first turn the game on. They're building dread with how like saccharine this whole sequence is. Usually I come at it from a point of view of like the less you know about something, especially if there's some sort of twist or turn, the better. But I feel like if you had absolutely no idea, it would be pretty crazy when you find out, but then this sequence would just be dull instead of dread building. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? To one of these girls. I imagine that virtually every dating sim allows you to get with all of the girls in a single playthrough, right? Having not played one. It's time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. Oh, that's an interesting way. I thought they were going to have me just type. Okay. Let's go with... time. Interesting. Analysis. I'm not sure if they're actually responding to the ones I'm clicking. Vivid. Infinite. Determination. Uncanny. So I could just pick all the evil words here. Adventure. Imagination. Atone. Dream. Insight. Melody. Let's do Daydream. This is an interesting sequence here. Treasure. Afterimage. Heartbeat. Anxiety. Fester. We'll try to be very positive here. I'm not going to be teenage Marstead. I was a goth kid. Ooh, intellectual. Death, massacre. I love the smattering of extremely dark words among all of this. Let's not. Infallible would have been better. There it is.
Yeah, I wonder if I go in and say, what if I say kawaii?
This game's gonna be a lot of that, isn't it? Here.
Kawaii. I'll never do that again, Marstead.
I was playing Zelda Phantom Hourglass, and there's a part where a character tells you to call her cute into the microphone, and it wouldn't register, so I tried that, and now I'm permanently... Let's do ambient. Entropy. I wonder if your focus on negative words here accelerates your descent into what I assume is the dark part of the game. Anime, fantasy, milk. Vibrant. Charge SP for it. Can I make it so sound effects don't activate if someone clears afterward? Okay, at first I thought you were spoiling something, and I was like, oh no, I see what you mean. No, I can't make it cancel, unfortunately. Thanks for keeping your promise. And we just had a simple point system for each of the words you could select. Make it an accelerating cost per use for each time you've used it, right? Cost doubles for each use. Monika and manga. Manga is literature. It gives it his best. Yeah, that's a very Japanesey phrasing. How dependable. Not great. Good friends? I thought we were good friends. I can't actually make the cost scale. Maybe through some fancy shenanigan. I'd have to write a whole system to do that. Never mind. Interesting, there's been no choice in the game so far other than selecting the poem entries. Guess they just wanted to introduce the characters at the beginning. Hey, what's the book? Uh-huh. How's she accidentally being so cute? Ugh. This game's nailing it. What's the band that's like, you're only beautiful because you don't know you're beautiful? It's really, ugh, gross. You're my secret treasure. It's not okay to be attractive and aware of it. That sounds right. Suki's rummaging in the closet. I hear kawaii. My heart goes Doki Doki. Marstead must suffer. Oh. I'll probably put a cooldown on it, knowing this game. We'll see. Be responsible with it. It's fine. Not for any particular reason. That's a good question. You wouldn't buy one? So what's the fantasy here? Like, that a girl really likes you but doesn't want to be out and admit it? So it's basically like the neckbeard dream of being a nice guy and like secretly doing all these nice things for a girl, except it's the roles are reversed and the guy actually really, really wants that instead of it being creepy. Thanks, Kami. Portrait of Markov, like Markov chains? Ominous looking eye symbol on the front cover. That's interesting. Markov chains are the way it's like predictive text where you can type out a sentence. If you go to the subreddit simulator subreddit, that uses Markov chains. So what's the most likely next word you're going to use based on all sentences ever written up to this point? Finn's just being a jerk and still getting the girls. Yeah, it's like the reverse. It's very transactional, right? What she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationship and her life starts to fall apart. It's kind of dark, isn't it? You're not a fan of that sort of thing? So shy and reclusive. But her mind seems to enjoy shy and reclusive media. Horrible things happen not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy they believe in. Interesting. You're good. Keep foreshadowing. Maybe. Books and writing fill my thoughts. You need to worry. They don't. It is a literature club after all. God, it's like, of the 10 or so portraits they have for each character, like 7 of them have blushing. Oh yeah, the Germans that got first place by crashing at the end. About 28 minutes in, you can watch the clock in the corner. I think there's something sinister to that, Ratchet. I know what you're talking about. I used to be like that. You have a weird cultural, both in the West and in Japan, of not wanting women to be confident. Or actually being actively attracted to women who aren't confident. You apologize a lot, don't you? Okay. really impressed at how much of this game is handled just with dialogue describing what's happening. Okay, now we get new art. It's taking so much time to describe this. I turn a page and Yuri slides under her thumb after flips to her side. The level of detail is so unnecessary. This game is really nailing it, isn't it? Don't turn the page. Thanks, Yuri. Sorry, I'm just cracking up at like how much detail they're putting into this stupid little exchange. The main character reminds me of you a little bit. Mm-hmm. Alright, don't actually answer this in chat. I guess you can talk about it in hide, but I'm curious if whether me having this day with Yuri is based on the options I selected earlier, or if it's scripted to be with Yuri. In either case, it's interesting. I picked at all the most positive words and ended up talking to her. It's a terrible thing to have in common. You got ellipsist. What are you saying all of a sudden? Alright, we actually getting to see all their poems. I'm also curious how much of the poem was randomly selected words per page or if it's scripted on every page. There's something to be said when you're basing something on text, like you can use text as pacing in a book. The most extreme example I've probably seen is House of Leaves, which I'd highly recommend anybody who's a fan of psychological horror and thrillers read. But there's a sequence where a character's in a rush to do something, and like there's only one word printed on every page. So like you have to keep turning the pages frantically to read what's happening. It's kind of cool when you explore narrative design space in text, right? It's the same thing. If you choose to spend more time on something, it kind of tells you what the priorities are. It's like you read Song of Ice and Fire, and apparently his priorities are describing dinners. I sure did. Didn't ask for this. Who should I show my poem to first? Ugh. I have this set up. I'm not looking at chat at the moment. I'm trying to delay glancing, but if you would like to discuss stuff that's coming up that I don't know about, I highly recommend using !hide. If you type that before your message, I won't see it. Even something that's super innocuous, like just saying, oh boy, that something's about to come up, like, you'll be narrowing down the narrative potential for me. So the less you talk about things that haven't happened yet, the better, unless if you do it in hide, then I can't see it. Say that out loud. I only have it hard-coded for a few single dice rolls. It's not a full engine. I could probably write one, though. What kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? I know that. Oh, thanks, Kami. We'll be doing that D&D stream February 28th in the evening after the normal stream is over. Gonna do a little tutorial adventure. Basically, no roleplay, just explaining the rules, since it's a super heavily house-ruled variant of 4E. Most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. They tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. Interesting. I didn't really catch that she was supposed to be stammering. I guess anytime... I use way too many adverbs when I write. My main editing pass is to go through and like read every sentence, then delete every word that doesn't change the meaning of the sentence. Clearly the D&D stream is a lie. Not yet. I'll probably put it on in the background as I'm working on something. Please do. Isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back. Okay. It's probably House of Leaves that I was just talking about, Ratchet. Lewandowski, I think, is the name of the author. He does a lot of crazy stuff with... There's like pages that you have to hold up to a mirror to read. It's pretty cool. Script very often. Raise your hand if you had teachers tell you needed to learn cursive because you'd never have access to a typewriter. What a waste. I can only write legibly by writing in all caps. I try to avoid it whenever possible. Are you into ghosts? Ghost at all. I feel like they're foreshadowing something here. That's impressive. There's nothing really. Great. I don't think I have a 1d3. I guess I can do 1d6 divided by 2. Having a good time so far. You're new and everything. If you have any suggestions for the club, like new activities, so like, I'm trying to imagine the design space of a romance novel, like dating sim visual novel game that you're trying to subvert. Something I would probably do if I were making the game is I would punish you for the first person you pick. Like if you're going to do some kind of horror thing eventually, you'd want to inflict that horror on the person you showed the most interest in originally. Interesting to think about. I'm curious to see where they're going to take it. Once we beat it, I'd love to talk about what's happening behind the scenes in this game when you're making decisions. It's embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Great job. Sorry, guys, your chat keeps getting cleared. Yeah, if it has anything at all to do with something that shouldn't be super clear to me in the game, just type it and hide. Like, even if you think that what you're saying isn't giving anything away, like, I'll read it into a lot of stuff. To give you an example, I was playing Half-Life 2 recently. I guess mild spoilers for Half-Life 2, and I had somebody in chat be like, "Oh, don't kill the antlions, they're bros." And it wasn't a spoiler, because I didn't know why the antlions were bros, but at that point forward, I'm like, okay, something's going to happen in the story with the antlions being friendly toward me, right? It's not a big deal. I didn't even see what got chat cleared. I'm trying to delay looking over to the left here. Y'all's right. This full of imagery and symbolism. She said as much. Oh, okay, they're trying to set me up for the person I want to talk to. So really like simple and direct words. Yuri likes when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It is. So you can definitely tailor stuff directly towards somebody. Interesting. So maybe Monika is the, if you didn't choose a specific style, you end up with her. If you didn't get enough points. What a wholesome game. Alright. I have to sound confident. Hole in wall. Couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. Appear inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel blind like a film left out in the sun, but it's too late. My retinas already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It's too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in, I was looking out. Me on the other side was looking in. Interesting. I wonder if they're ever going to do something with, like, acrostics here. Doesn't look like there is in this one. Hidden images. What do you think? It's very freeform. Emphasis on the timing between words and lines. The cockles did nothing. Everyone's better friends with each other. When you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. Try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make progress. Perfect is the enemy of good. I can agree with that. Keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you get a big dark puddle of ink. Interesting. Heads is Sayori. Natsuki it is. That's a little blunt. It's about what I expected from someone like you. It's not cute enough for your tastes. Not that you like it. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, and people can try, but that's about it. Okay. So I can see her style is pretty different. because everyone in high school thinks writing has to be all sophisticated. Just got more of the Hemingway approach. Okay, that's a fair subject. Puts more weight on wordplay. It's true. I decided to humor her with that last comment. Alright, no choices. Oh yeah, everybody's in hide. Have fun, guys. I appreciate keeping it there. I imagine this is the kind of game where it's very difficult to, if you know what's going on, even just commenting on, oh, that was an interesting line, like, shit, okay, well. Doesn't mean I'll break my promise. So what's your, like, what's the canonical dating sim archetypes? You gotta have the childhood friend, right? You gotta have the Sundara character. You gotta have the shy, nerdy girl. I'm trying to think of what the fourth one would be. I guess you got kind of a jock, athletic character, Monika. You're good, Kami. Yay. Really like their tildes. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed. Making you rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. That's pretty positive and straightforward. Actually, Yuri was the most dark foreshadowing, it seemed like. Girl, it's perfect at everything, sure. Spooky. Made eggs and toast. Sleep forever, right? Me IRL. Monika's the best. Guess that's everyone. The Mario Kart 8's really good. It's a good one to have a digital copy of, so you can always have it in your Switch. Rich Corinthian leather. Suki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Yuri smiles sadly. Yeah, the perfect girl has straight A's and is always trying to keep up. Clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? Huh. He even told me he was impressed by it. Now, there haven't been any dialogue options at this point. It's been scripted. Instead of writing our own poem. They're just jealous. Oh boy. Oh. I could see them going that. I didn't consider that route. As far as it becoming a horror game, like them killing each other over this. His boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Marstead started showing up. Is that true? Did her model change between day 1 and day 2? You can answer that question. Simple writing's more effective. I know, right? Oh boy. This is my Paragon Renegade choice. I'm gonna wuss out and not pick anybody. I think I like more concealed meanings. Mm-hmm. This isn't about her. This song is really goofy. You guys are my friends. Right. These poems are amazing because they paint beautiful pictures in your head. Yeah, there's not a right way to do it, guys. It's a slider, right? Yuri's boobs are the same as they always were. This is why Sayori is vice president. Who's the president? Oh, okay, gotcha. I think they answered that earlier and I didn't catch it. It's Monika. Pretty unique here. Such a genuine person really does make a good president. It's about time for us to leave. It was neat. That's pretty neat. Violet Evergarden. The character is a shitty person. Yuri and Natsuki. Does anything happen often? Not great. No, I don't hate them. Does it really need to stop there? God. Inner monologue is so transactional, neckbeardy. Alright. Doing this again. Let's keep the same kind of words. Farscape, that's a good word. Wonderful, infinite. Charm. I really like entropy as a word, but I've kind of been sticking to a theme here. Rainbow. Peaceful. I'm interested in where they're going to take this whole building a poem thing. Massacre. Destiny. Color. Analysis. You can see these words progressively becoming darker and darker and darker as the game progresses. Sparkle. Unrequited. Melody. Fun. Let's do adventure again. It's just mishmashes of words you create with nothing in between. Yep, read me like a book, sir. These are words for today, don't like. That's not really how you write poems, dude. You can't just like write down 20 nouns. I feel like someone would do that though, and just they put a period after every one of them. The whole thing's in lowercase. Take a look at your purse. Okay. Two small coins. Doki Doki Postmodern Literature Club. There are no rules. Agree with that nihilism button, right? Always hungry. Okay. How are you supposed to pronounce uwa? I feel like I see that in a lot of Japanese games, actually. Maybe someone could find a clip from a show where somebody says it out loud. Like a frustration noise, basically. Uwa. Only buy what you can responsibly afford. After pulling a mischievous stunt like that, your suffering is fair enough retribution. I have to accept the revolution. Oh man, there's a new Muse song out. I really like Muse. So does my wife Andrea. And all their albums for a long time have been like, yeah, life sucks, but let's rise up and fight back. You know, it's all about resisting. And this newest song, one of the lines is just like, it's too late for the revolution. Brace for the final solution. I'm like, holy shit, we're in dark times. They've given up. Conveys a sound you make when you're getting up in the morning and stretching out your body after a good night's rest. I read it from her as being a sound of frustration, but I guess I could see that. Like, yeah. It's the beetle noise, right? Yeah. Make a dating sim where everyone talks like a Zelda character. Hear a sound of frustration. Is this a miracle? It's because I paid my restitution. Oh man, they got a running word joke. Gotta have those. Soria! Sat! Thank you! Oh, good. Again, the amount of focus they're putting on narrating this sequence. I'm impressed at this game's restraint. We've made it an hour without really... There's been a little bit of foreshadowing, but you feel like a game that has a disclaimer like this one would have difficulty holding out this long. I guess the closest thing to a clue outside of some of the text foreshadowing has been a lot of the words in the poem writing. Restraint isn't usually something I associate with a dating sim. That's because it's maybe satire? I don't know what the genres end up being. It's love letter to or a harsh indictment of. It's not a long time if you truly love dating sims. I was saying earlier that the subreddit appears to interpret this game as a dating sim based on the posts that make it to the front page that aren't marked spoiler. I don't look at any of the spoiler ones. Zelda, but everyone's in high school. That is kind of Skyward Sword. Training to be a Link. Practicing piano. That's so cool. It's a rude thing to say to someone who just started. Won't let me down, huh? Go play Hot Cross Buns over and over. Natsuki Photoshop to be Hulk levels of buff. Slump down to the nearest desk. How am I supposed to occupy myself with something literature related by myself? I should totally read the Evil Markov book. I'm curious whether they are really referring to Markov chains with that. They might be, given the nouns they're having us select from in the book. Most fun thing ever. Nobody will come in the first place. It's a literature event. Don't call it a literature event. You could do food. I guess she also is the impossibly thin character who's obsessed with eating. You had that in both Persona 3 and 4, or was it just 4? Me who has trouble finding any motivation at all. Sayori can put her mind to things and make them come to life. God. Don't pop so close to the screen. This is a napping club. Oh, I would take the shit out of a napping club. I would pay money to a college. Napping 101. Give me 6 credit hours. Don't say that so loud. I done told you, bro. What's a problem? What about you? You look out for me better than you look out for yourself. It's a secret. Napping club homework. God, I got 16 hours of napping club homework this weekend. Yeah, right. They just zoomed in on the sprite. There's a toothpaste stain on your collar. Why do you think you don't have a boyfriend yet? Weird thing to do. This is their second bit of custom art for a sequence like this. When does a nap not become a nap anymore? I mean, like, when does it stop being a nap and start becoming just sleeping for the night? But what is this perspective? Who taught you to draw 3-point perspective? Not worth it at all. We don't have a zoomed out sprite of her. So much better. Keep it unbuttoned, I won't get a boyfriend, right? Uh-huh. I guess part of the fantasy is like super obvious signaling, right? That doesn't get acted on. Propagator wrote it. Doki Doki. Oh my goodness, this is so good. Really. Especially after yesterday's poem. It has virtually the same words in it. It may have had like 3 or 4 different words. Okie dokie. Okie dokie 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 would be pretty good. Sure, that's part of it. It's a Marstead poem. Oh boy. You're so weird. Conveying feelings is an important part of this whole thing. I was gonna say, she didn't really give us any tips about her style. Yuri's obtuse. Keeps saying really weird things as Sayori. It's a nice way of saying it, shit. Like happy poems. Bittersweet. Happy and sad. All the tildes. I haven't remapped the deafen button from Discord off the tilde, and I have to use it to call out code blocks and markdown for my Roll20 games. So I keep hearing that deafen sound associated with the tilde key. I know that line, Six Gun. Am I being obtuse? I don't remember. I recognize it. Personification of the anime tilde. Bottles. Okay, it's starting. I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's just, I love the music. It's a secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine all rubbing together like a bundle of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger and pluck one out. It's warm and tingly. But there's no time to waste. I put it in a bottle to keep it safe, and I put the bottle on the shelf with all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts and bottles. All in a row. My collection makes me a lot of friends. Each bottle is starlight to make amends. Sometimes my friends feel a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friend after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go. Like exploring a dark cave, discovering the secrets hiding in the nooks and crannies, digging and digging, scraping and scraping. Good lord. I blow dust off my bottle caps. It doesn't feel like time elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends look through my locked front door. Finally all done, I open up and in come my friends. They come in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? Frantically pull them from the shelf one after another, holding them out to each and every friend, each and every bottle, but every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts and shards all over the floor. They're supposed to be for my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading something, but all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. Cool! That was a pretty good escalation there. Holy crap. Did you really write this? Hey, what's up, Calic? How you been? Oh, I'm not like, that's kind of weird. It's almost kind of creepy. Should be proud of it. I understand. My wife used to be able to tune into a lot of streams, but her new job blocks Twitch, so she can't do that either. Keep writing until I die. Had a habit of getting obsessed with something before dropping it no more than a week later. Me IRL. Alright. 1d6. See what you've written. This is pretty good. Not really. Respect you for trying new things. It's not an actual dice engine, I just have some pre-written core dice. I could probably write a actual dice engine, but it would take a really long time. We barely ever use it. Example of that if you'd like to read it. The raccoon happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my window. It was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an ordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of bread, my subconscious well aware of the consequences, well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom, the bread my hungry curiosity. The raccoon an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off of my cutting knife, the very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited, or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon has taken to following me. You can say we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement. A rush of blood. Classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread and I feed myself again. That's pretty good. Yeah, I feel like that's, when it comes to blocking things at work, unless if there's a really good reason for it, like, I would base it on the performance of somebody. If someone throws it on in the background, like they're listening to the radio, like if your job lets you listen to NPR, it should let you throw anything in the background, right? If you find that it's distracting, I feel like they should handle it on a per employee basis. That's a why don't they just problem. It's much easier for them to just block it, right? Why do you keep them to yourself? Embarrassing. People would make fun of me. Guess so. Kind of. If I hadn't learned to embrace my own weirdness, I'd probably hate myself. Hey, I hear that, Yuri. Wear it like armor and it can't be used to hurt you. Yeah, too much micromanagement. Exactly, that's why they usually just block it. If it's a problem for one person, it's going to be a problem for everybody. I feel like that can be a manager level decision. How's the writing going? Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece. I think of something Sayori would like. Huh. Sure you're not reading into it too much. Yeah. It would be funny if this is all just 100% scripted and the words you choose have no meaning at all. I could see it going either way. Sure. Save me, the colors they won't stop. Bright, beautiful colors, flashing, expanding, piercing, red, green, blue, an endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveform, squeaking, screeching, piercing, sine, cosine, tangent. Like playing a chalkboard on a turntable. That's a good simile. Playing a vinyl on a pizza crust. An endless poem of meaningless. Ode me. Ah. Cool. More abstract than your last one. Yeah, choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of a poem. I really feel like Monika is making meta commentary on the game up to this point, but I guess I'll have to play through it to figure that out. There's a lot of different ways they could handle this. They could try to punish you for seeing meaning where there isn't any. Actually, the ultimate the ultimate disturbing twist is if there's actually no disturbing twist in Doki Doki Literature Club, and it's just a mediocre dating sim with a bunch of hype built around it. I know I keep saying I want a game to do that. I'm probably not actually going to enjoy when it happens. When that happens, don't forget to save your game. You never know when you might change your mind. Interesting. Interesting. And then no more choices. Thanks. Anything that isn't a train wreck, I'll take as a win. Barriel, I believe there's something more to it than that. I guess we'll see. But when you boot the game up, it has this big thing about there's like a disclaimer if you're bothered by disturbed or depressing content that you shouldn't play it. So I think that's part of what they're getting at here. They're doing this long, slow burn dread build from the disclaimer. Amy likes spiders. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders. Icky, wriggly, hairy, ugly spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. She likes spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. One time, I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me up and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. Repetition. Yeah. That's what I was hoping for, Barriel, that there's actually not any disturbing content, and the disturbing content is just that you're playing a Japanese high school dating sim. But I bet they're going to do something with it, we'll see. Certainly been hinting at some dark stuff so far. Doesn't matter if she has other hobbies, doesn't matter if she keeps it private, doesn't matter if she doesn't hurt anyone, it's gross, she's gross. The world is better off without spider lovers, and I'm going to tell everyone. It's pretty straightforward. I doubt I have to explain it. Anyone would agree the subject of this poem is an ignorant jerk. It's the pigeon dating sim game. Is it any good? If the pigeon game takes itself seriously, that's really funny. Hey Manak, long time no see. There's a dating sim with YouTubers? That's funny. You date pigeons in a Pigeon Heights school, but you're not a pigeon. I feel like the only way to do that is to play it completely straight. It's like the Lice episode of South Park, right? It's pretty much played completely straight. It requires multiple playthroughs. Well, think, not just feel. Remember that. Please look forward to it. Is that a particular phrase in Japanese? I mean, I feel like we say look forward to it in English a lot too, but I see it translated in a lot of Japanese games. Quintessential dating sim requires multiple playthroughs. I guess that's why they give you the auto skip text option in this one, huh? $5 hours? 6 hours? I don't remember. Good for you, Monika. Right. I think it's too much to ask. We gonna get more members? There's only enough room on the screen for 4 characters. So I could shrink their sprites. Any game could be speedrun. Good night, Raker. Seeing ya. I think some randomness can make a speedrun interesting. It depends. I think the problem is when you have late game randomness, right? That can spoil a run. Or when the random component introduces a massive time save. It's the same problem as something like Hearthstone, right? Obviously, a professional player would want 0 randomness and have the entire game be as deterministic as possible. But you get a lot of the hype moments out of that. The way they fly. Reflection is pristine. I don't actually read the poem for it, so it's interesting. Just describe it. Yeah, right. That's what I mean by it. Getting people excited about the run if it's not 100% deterministic. Then you have games that can be made deterministic through RNG manipulation, but that it's brutal to do, like Earthbound. You save so much time by manipulating all the early fights when the game is difficult. After image of a crimson eye. She's suddenly putting in so much effort. Pokemon runs are a calculated risk? What do you mean by that, Spiky? Be a rare glimpse into the whirling fire Yuri keeps concealed in her head. Back to reality. First to start applauding. We're caught so off guard we must have forgotten. It was really good. Thank you for sharing. The narrative decision to exclude the actual poem here. My meadow. So in theory, have no issue public speaking, but every time I've ever given a talk without having practiced several times, I end up talking way too fast. You ever been on a phone call and talked enough that you forgot to breathe? And then you have to take these big, labored, embarrassing breaths? You really have to slow it way down. I'll have to practice that when we do D&D. I've been trying to limit my narration component because it's really easy to just try to get it out as fast as possible so that the gameplay can continue. Read this on paper, I probably wouldn't think much of it. Hearing it from her voice gives it a whole new meaning. Yeah, I don't know any tricks for talking more slowly. I did that YouTube video on like fan service in games, and normally I would have preferred to have just written out what I wanted to say and just like read it out loud, but I was doing it too fast, so I just did bullets and then improv around the bullets, which doesn't always work because then sometimes you can meander too much and not stay on task, and your 5-minute video can become a 40-minute video. Yeah, I like that they're not showing you the actual poem. Otherwise, the in-game analysis of the poem could be incorrect, right? Too many that never make it to the end of a run. Gotcha. You pick a poem that challenges you more. To make me go before Marstead. Okay, I'm gonna read my 20 nouns. Yay, applause anyway. Dragon Quest VIII speedrun that's incredibly long. Got in the way of that High Spirits guy from doing a full series speedrun. The poem is called Jump. The poem has a rhythm and a rhyme to it. It's got a iambic quality to it. Did the 3DS release of Dragon Quest VIII introduce anything to make speedrunning it more easy? Pretty much every Dragon Quest run. Find and kill metal slimes. Especially because the games eventually, I'm not sure if this is true for the original Dragon Quest games, but at some point they just kind of assume that you're going to grind metal slimes. Like, it's not even a, this is an option for someone to speed up the game. It's a, no, you're going to find this forest and you're going to do it, otherwise you're not going to be able to defeat dual megas. If you're going to make a game grindy, it should be chill. Finish planning tomorrow and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Monday's the big day. I can't wait. No, just like if you've ever read Shakespeare, it's that iambic pentameter. It's just that the syllables bounce. So like, to be or not to be, that is the question. Da 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 da. Can make it frustrating to read sometimes. It's about syllable emphasis. Really? Hey, like all of her lines are iambic pentameter? Or is there just a sequence that does that? Yeah, the Lead River grind. Yeah, we're doing it next Wednesday, Jahan. I think we got about 8 hours of content. Yuri. I think I'd ditch you for Yuri? Jeez. I guess there's been nothing in the game that's explicitly made it clear, but this is meant to take place in Japan, right? Even though it's by a Western dev. I guess you've got the classroom layout and the architecture on the houses. And the uniforms. I wasn't sure, like, I've played some localized games that try to move it. Like, was it Phoenix Wright says, oh, this is in Los Angeles. No, is it any good? The FF12 remaster? Hey, I like the music on the screen. Bubbles. Infinite. Imagination. Destiny. It's just occurred to me that what if the game continues to be saccharine and like dating sim until you decide to just make your poem really awful? Maybe I'll do the next one as really evil. Joy, music, melody, bliss, it's vanilla, smile, party, sparkle, treasure, fireflies, friends, philosophy, eternity. They improved on the Zodiac version. I'm gonna try to keep it muted. I think it's hailing outside. Wow, really loud. Fried squid. I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go check what's going on outside. I think we got a really big storm coming in, so just a heads up in case we lose stream. Be right back. Yup, it's hailing pretty hard. Well, apologies. Hopefully it's not too distracting. So you don't like squid? You of all people? What do you mean by you of all people? Monika? Oh. That joke makes no sense in translation. Alright. Monika's broken the fourth wall a couple times now. It's like that big in Los Alamos in the summertime. We get these like monsoons where it rains really hard for maybe an hour or two, and then there's no sign of it at the end of the day. Hey, Sayori. spacing out again. Don't mind me. Alright, if you say so. Sounds like it died down, it got really intense and then chilled out for the most part. Seems downcast. No, it's not your problem. Person of interest. Oh my god, main character. Catch up. Sayori talks about you more than anything else. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. She's always like that. Is that too much? I'm sorry. What do I know anyway? Alright. That is a weird thing to say. She's probably saying something awful. What can I do besides wait for Monika? Why does it feel like I'm being watched? I glance around the room. February 28th, Jan. Sorry, I'm delaying looking at chat because of spoilers. Not that I was staring or anything. Uh-huh. Sure. Maybe don't talk about Sayori to her. It's a jealousy thing. Really, Bariel? Good for her. Yeah, that idol stuff in Japan is, hope they catch up. Hidden deep beneath plain sight. There are many untold mysteries behind every person, no matter how well you may know them. Yeah, it's establishing precedent for future cases. That's really good. I feel like those sorts of clauses are like arbitration clauses in the US. I really hope that they get struck down at some point. It means a lot to you. Yeah, it won't be till next week. It's the first part of it's basically done, but cover feelings you weren't aware were in you. Uh-huh. A pretty simple guy. Are you now? It is what it is. Main character, man. Sure. I'll cut you, bitch. That's what I assumed she was discussing. Well done. Definitely improved your rating over the course of these few days. Definitely. Guess I could have used a lot of the same words and still had the general rating be better. I think it's more of a poetry club so far. Is there DLC for DDLC? Oh, the Japanese, they're like, as a foreigner, you have nothing to worry about. It's actually kind of a problem if you're a foreigner that tries to settle in Japan. They'll always treat you like a noob, basically. They're ultra forgiving. You gotta live there for 30 years and like raise children there, and they'll still talk to you like you're a moron. There are mods. Interesting. That didn't surprise me. Hey, thanks for the host, Zelda. Appreciate it. If you guys haven't checked out Jen's channel, she's really cool. She is a bachelor's colleague of my wife Andrea. They were in a physics program together. Physics job at Fermilab. Oh, she's playing Celeste too. That game's really good. Well, I think we're gonna finish it in Ganymede's next subblock. Here we go. Beach. A marvel millions of years in the making, where the womb of Earth chaotically meets the surface under a clear blue sky, an expanse of bliss. Beneath gray rolling clouds, an endless enigma. The easiest world to get lost in is one where everything can be found. One can only build a sandcastle where the sand is wet. Where the sand is wet, the tide comes. Will it gently lick at your foundations until you give in, or will a sudden wave send you crashing down in the blink of an eye? Either way, the outcome is the same. Still, we build sandcastles. Stand where the foam wraps around my ankles, where my toes squish into the sand. The salty air is therapeutic. The breeze is gentle yet powerful. I sink my toes into the ultimate boundary line, tempted by the foamy tendrils. Turn back, and I abandon my peace to erode at the shore. Drift forward, and I return to Earth forevermore. You know, I'm wondering at what point, if these poems are all using the nouns that I've been able to select in the prior screen. Like, I don't think they're based on the nouns that I picked, but I definitely see some of my own nouns showing up in here. It would be cool if they did completed poems based on those. An inane thing to write about. Non-competes don't survive challenge in the US. Arbitration doesn't survive either, right? But everybody still does it. Oh man, chain chat clears. Yeah, just a reminder, it's popping up in chat, but if you type !hide before your message, you can discuss it without me seeing it. Everyone else in chat can see it and talk about it with you. I'm trying to be as blind as possible here. All I know is that there's more than meets the eye. No kidding, Cal. And I'm pretty impressed with the game's restraint. Let's do 1d6 if I can get through before the clear here. Gotta chat. There we go. Sayori. Thanks. Is everything all right? If someone's repeatedly not following the request to not spoil to me, let me stick out this rule 8. Ask you very kindly to respect the moderator decision. If they clear chat, it's because they think it's something that I'll read into and learn something from. So please don't fight them on it, and just type in hide if you're not sure. You can always discuss, hey, is this something that's worth sharing? And I'll trust the consensus of chat. You forgot Hyde. That's funny, bro. Try writing your poems like the way Yuri does, or even Natsuki, but in the end, at least you're the one who likes this one the most. Now the music cut out. You're closer with everyone else. Of course I do. That doesn't mean I need to try so hard to impress them. Yeah, I don't want to know. I mean, you guys can discuss it in Hyde if you want to be 100% sure. There's a couple things that, if I'm missing something super obvious, that you can share it. I wouldn't call it backseating, but it's probably worth discussing it in there first. Why are you doing this? Monika, I wasn't feeling well. See you tomorrow. Wing flip. You thought about what you want to submit to perform at the festival. Pretty good. Interesting. I am suspecting that the whole thing's just scripted and the words I'm selecting don't matter. That would be cool if that's the case. Sure. A lady who knows everything. An old tale tells of a lady who wanders Earth, a lady who knows everything. A beautiful lady who has found every answer, all meaning, all purpose, and all that was ever sought. And here I am, a feather, lost adrift the sky, a victim of the currents of the wind. Day after day I search with little hope, knowing legends don't exist, but when all else has failed me, when all others have turned away, the legend is all that remains, the last dim star glittering in the twilight sky. Until one day the wind ceases to blow, I fall, and I fall and fall and fall some more, gentle as a feather, tranquil, expressionless. But a hand catches me between the thumb and forefinger, the hand of a beautiful lady. Look at her eyes and find no end to her gaze. The lady who knows everything knows what I'm thinking. Before I can speak, she responds in a hollow voice. I have found every answer, all of which amount to nothing. There is no meaning, there is no purpose, and we seek only the impossible. I am not your legend does not exist. Cool. And with a breath, she blows me back afloat, and I pick up a gust of wind. You wouldn't leave for answers, give life meaning. I see. Yeah, when I worked at Chase, I had to sign an arbitration clause that if they ever screwed me over, that I wouldn't sue them, but I would go through an arbitrator. Pretty sure I could just sue them, though. It's a way to try to deprive you of your rights. Here's Monika's writing tip of the day. If you're ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good, it's really disheartening to need a lukewarm response to something you put so much into. That's fair. Thanks, Six Gun. Natsuki's last. About as good as yesterday's. Trying a little bit. Isn't that more of a compliment to me? Good job, protagonist. It's not like you would actually do that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure every software agreement you ever clicked agree to has an arbitration clause in there. It's just too easy to include. Figure if they get to skip one lawsuit because somebody doesn't know their rights and tries to go to arbitration, they've made out ahead. It was funny to her. I'll be your beach. Your mind is so full of troubles and fears it diminish your wonder over the years. Today I have a special place, a beach for us to go, a shore reaching beyond your sight, a sea that sparkles with brilliant light. The walls in your mind will melt away before the sunny glow. I'll be the beach that washes your worries away, that you daydream about each day, that makes your heart leap. In a way you thought had left you long ago, let's bury your heavy thoughts in a pile of sand, bathe in sunbeams and hold my hand. Wash your insecurities in the salty sea and let me see you shine. Just leave your memories in a footprint trail, set you free in my windy sail, and remember the reasons you're wonderful when you press your lips to mine. That's the same as the last one. If you let me be by your side, your own beach, your own escape, you'll learn to love yourself again. The beach is awesome. Kind of hard to write anything negative about the beach. Take that challenge. Good practice. We're all done sharing poems. Catchphrase. Stagnant air is common foreshadowing that something terrible is about to happen. Hey, generic. Yeah, it's being played pretty straight so far. I think it's going to take a turn at some point, but like I said earlier, the ultimate psychological horror would be if there is no psychological horror and it's just what it appears to be on its surface. The game twist. I'm impressed at their commitment and restraint 2 hours in so far. There's interesting stuff you could do. Now, I doubt that Doki Doki Literature Club does this, but some of the ways that you could manipulate the design space of a game like this is you could accelerate the game if the player gets frustrated with nothing happening and starts skipping text very quickly. Or you could base it on if they choose a bunch of really negative things in the journal. Like, there's a lot of neat ways to progress with that. Can advance text with a scroll wheel. Yeah, it's actually, that's sort of what the Japanese horror model is, right? Even though this isn't by a Japanese developer, like, you watch movies like Audition or the original Ringu, like, nothing happens in Audition for hours, and then it's really intense at the very end. Now, if you guys wouldn't mind, if you're hinting at an upcoming game mechanic or just talking about stuff that hasn't happened yet, you can type !hide before your message and then I won't see it. I love atmosphere. I think that's one of the best parts too. Pretty heavy tasks to handle. Yay, decorations. We were discussing earlier the fact that I knew that there was some kind of twist in this game without knowing what the twist was. Like, that's not a spoiler because the game opens with that. I've long made the argument that the less you know about something, the better. I thought it was unfortunate that there was a disclaimer at the beginning, but now as I'm playing the game more and more, I think the disclaimer is necessary for the game to be enjoyable. Like, it creates tension in every sequence. Like, is this going to be when the turn happens? It's like, Audition's actually a really good comparison. I guess we'll see how it actually resolves, but if you didn't go into Audition knowing it was a horror movie, you would just be bored out of your skull. Or like Death Proof by Quentin Tarantino is just dialogue. Pointless dialogue. Holy shit. Okay, that got real really fast. It's almost a storytelling genre in and of itself. I'd love that if the twist is that there is none. There's been a couple movies that have landed that. Me? Sure. Yeah, I don't really particularly feel invested in any of the characters to pick. I am choosing the words for the poem, though. I'm just rolling a 1d20. I guess I could do that on the next session. Next time they have me pick words. To see if it changes anything. That's why she's trying to sound like Sayori. Uh-huh. If there is no twist is a real one, then if someone probably managed to actually make this really deep for Western players. Yeah. Well, I mean, I believe the protagonist in the game is meant to also be a high school student, but there is something fundamentally really creepy about dating sims and like the entire fantasy of like this situation that's represented in dating sims. Like, maybe someone's made a dating sim that does a really good job of representing how relationships actually grow, but the concept of a dating sim is kind of gross, right? And there's a lot of ways that you could comment on that. You could do satire. I'm interested to see what direction it's going to take. To that end, the concept of like a romantic comedy can also be pretty gross a lot of the times. I think one of the better depictions of a relationship I've seen in fiction is actually in Deadpool, but it's because it takes place over like months that they time skip through. A lot of romantic comedies are kind of destructive. They put a bad idea into people's heads of how a healthy relationship is supposed to function. You gotta come to my house. Yeah, there's a lot they can do with you being the protagonist, right? You typing in your own name. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how they resolve it. Coming to my house. Oh, geez. Great. So the whole thing can't be entirely scripted because I am ending up with Yuri in this sequence. And obviously when you choose the order in which you help people earlier read their poems, that matters too. cool. Anxiety shoots through the roof. I guess we went to school on Saturday, right? So it must be in Japan. No, I know what you mean, Bariel, for sure. That's what I'm excited about this game, is there's a lot of directions they can still take it at this point. Without being super on the nose about it, you know? Bog standard Japanese town. Depends on how willing they are to break the fourth wall. They've already done it a little bit with some lines from Monika. Yeah, there you go, Mario. I assume so. We're like the two people who can chat about it. But that's even an interesting question. Is there such a thing as just roleplay? Part of that whole question of like, is a mental sin still a sin if you don't act on it, right? Hey, what's up, Sayori? Guess you're right. Golden Sky Stories? What is it? How did you know that? Monika told me. Uh-huh. And just be like, it's always been. This is all my fault. I think it's so we can accidentally express my feelings. Always been like this. You're just seeing it for the first time. What are you talking about? Really bad depression my whole life. Oh, interesting. Okay, maybe they're gonna go somewhere real with it. I eat while I go to school. I make friends. I make up to put the energy and carrying to waste by them spend it on me. Did mention depression and anxiety at the beginning. Now that's something that I imagine would be pretty unusual for a dating sim, talking about a depressed character. They're always so like one-dimensional. Feels like I've been betrayed as your close friend. To waste effort caring about me. Yeah, heard that before. Feels like a bat being swung against my head. Yeah, it's pretty real. Ha ha ha. Yeah, been there. Seeing you get close to everyone feels like a spear going through my heart. The world just wants to torture me. And her little laughs. That's all. Okay, well. Okay, good. I thought he was going somewhere awful there, the main character. I showed you what a horrible person I am. Did you join the literature club because I was selfish? Accept these punishments. useless, you're... And, like, you don't want to trouble other people with it, right? It actually adds to the stress of depression. Like, when other people don't know how to help you. It's a hyperbole and a half comic. That is a really good description of it. She isn't hugging me back. Alright, main character's maybe not as big of a jerk as I thought. Your mother was a hamster and your father smells of elderberries. The only time I'm not feeling nothing is when I'm feeling pain. Interesting. So I wonder if this happens regardless of the choices you made up to this point. Yeah, I took my hiatus from stream because of my wife's... She had suicidal depression. It was pretty bad. She's doing better now, though, thank God. Depression's a chemical imbalance in your brain, though. It's literally not something you can control. That's part of the problem. You're in a turtleneck. That's what's scary about it, is you're kind of trapped in your own body, even if you realize logically that the way you feel or lack of feel makes no sense. There's nothing you can do about it, and that actually compounds the problem. Deus Ex. Yeah. So does my wife. If you guys ever saw Andrea on stream before her depression hit her like a truck, like, she was the last person you would think could be affected by it. It's really being trapped in your own brain. Yeah. Like, she had everything right, you know, happy family, or just bought a house, like, good job, supportive coworkers. And that made her be like, why, I have no reason to be depressed because everything is good, so clearly I'm a monster, right? Let's not grab her wrists. Sure. Mood lighting and aromatherapy candles. Oh, God. It's easy to forget you're a pretty intense person. Okay, so she has anxiety. Sayori has depression. Plan to cover the windows in black paper and use the candles to light the room. That'd be really neat. It's a diffuser for essential oils. Yeah, the tired all the time was the worst part. Andrea would sleep for like 16 hours a day. See, that's another part of it, though, Game Saucer. Sometimes, like, your anxiety can make you anxious about taking anxiety medication. Andrea, certainly I had to fight her feelings of I'm failing because I'm taking medication. Yeah, seek help if you feel it. It's not the same as being sad. It's unfortunate that people kind of, this is like a euphemism treadmill in the medical community. We take something that's a medical term and then use it as a euphemism or an idiom. We say it all the time with, oh, I'm so OCD. It's like, well, you're not really OCD. Like, and people tend to equate I'm depressed with I'm sad, and it's not the same thing. Actually, the movie Inside Out does a really good job of dealing with it. Yuri's enjoying herself. Thin ribbon. Got that origami paper. A different word on each paper. We'll need 100 of them. Oh, that's cool. Doorway curtain. Yeah, that's why I append non-clinical, because I'm trying to be cautious about that non-clinical ADHD, non-clinical PTSD. It's because of that specifically. And once it becomes a euphemism, it's useful to describe a certain phenomenon, like I'm being kind of picky or I'm not holding my attention. But I can see it being frustrating for someone who actually has OCD or ADHD or PTSD. Interesting. Are they going to give me a choice here? Okay. He's just drawing the characters of his own volition here. The silver handle has an intricate pattern of waves etched into it. The blade itself is gently tinted blue. Not an ordinary pocket knife. I feel like they're trying to plant that Yuri is the one we should be worried about, but I would love if it was somebody else entirely. There's a couple ways they could take it at this point. If you live somewhere where therapy coverage is free, it's worth going even just once to... There's probably stuff about you that might not be usual, you know, and you won't know that until you talk to somebody. For sure. I agree, Ratchet. Hope you're better as well. It's heavy and extremely solid. Where do you even get a knife like this? Ouch! Poked your finger on the ritual knife. Knife is extremely sharp. You can cut through skin like it's paper. Oh, gross. That was a little weird, Yuri. It was a little weird. Just trying to help, right? Yeah, don't stab each other with ritual knives, kids. Cut yourself on Cthulhu's letter opener. I guess that's a way to make it less weird. You're so weird. The game has a lot of little things like that, too. It's very Audition. So far, it doesn't have Death-Proof Kurt Russell winking at the camera. Probably does better without a wink. cut off the tip of my thumb once with a ceramic knife. It's a really good knife, though. I didn't feel it. Didn't realize it happened until I looked down. I was like, oh, the tip of my thumb is gone. Right on. Oops. Somebody call the hospital, please. She was doing heroin. Neat. The main character says neat a lot. That's pretty neat. I haven't painted with watercolors in a long time. They're definitely trying to imprint somewhat onto the player, I think. On her turtleneck? It's weird. Like the music doesn't really change in response to the events of the game. Like it could be just a budget thing, but it adds to the weirdness of these sequences. Do you feel the Doki Doki? I could grab the heart rate monitor. Yeah, I get a fight or flight response in a lot of social situations. I had a pizza delivery guy come by recently that I had a really bad anxiety attack over. It wasn't a big deal at all. It was just like he handed me a clipboard with receipts on it. So I signed the receipt, and I just naturally took the paper off the clipboard and handed both of them back to him, and he was like holding the pizza. So he had to like awkwardly, using one hand, put the receipt back in the clipboard because I shouldn't have taken it out of there. And I'm like, oh my god, I want to die, 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 I want to die. It wasn't a big deal. Like, you know, I was able to know that it was stupid, but that's what my brain starts doing in those situations. And then, it got worse too because then I felt bad about it. So I'm like, I'll help him get the pizzas out of the little, he has like the little warming thing. So I reached over and undid the Velcro to start taking the pizzas. I was like, no, I got it. I'm like, oh god. Kill me like lightning from the sky, just end me now. Doki Doki is a Japanese onomatopoeia for a heartbeat sound. They have a lot of... Onomatopoeia in Japanese is actually really cool, because they have onomatopoeia for things that don't actually make sound, but like, if it were to make a sound, this is the sound it would make, right? Like, isn't there an onomatopoeia for smiling? It's a cool concept. Secretly hoping we'd have extra time. Yeah, right. Game Saucer. That's the thing. Is like in your mind, you're like, oh, this is gonna be a story he tells for generations. It's like he's not gonna remember this. He probably had something weirder happen at the next door neighbor's place. In the moment, though, it's like the defining moment of the century. They have an onomatopoeia for the sound of silence. Interesting. A Garfunkel. I love that it's just the same resolution sprite when they zoom in. The little bounce back animation. She's still in her boy shorts. That's pretty cool. One of those things that's kind of uniquely Japanese. I'm trying to think if we have something else. It's hard as a native English speaker to think about things in English that are unique and kind of weird, other than our complete lack of regard for rules. Maybe it's just the volume of loanwords from other languages. Imagination is being mean to me. Oh man. So this is where they're subverting the dating sim trope, if nothing else, right? Like every other dating sim, they don't talk about you like doing this unrequited love thing where you like break the heart of someone with depression and cause them to kill themselves, which I feel like the direction they're taking right now. Which is like, yeah, whatever, you're just gonna reload your save and date everybody anyway, right? No big deal. Haha, maybe you'll get with all 4 of them. Monika was right. Ooh, I should just... Holy shit. If what she did say in that whisper sequence, you should just kill yourself. Wow, that's dark. I wonder if I could have actually chosen Sayori in the earlier sequence. Or if they would have made it impossible to. Good job, game. I won't 1d2 this. They're actually doing something interesting here. I actually had an interesting conversation with Kat about this recently, that you shouldn't just say this to somebody and not mean it. That's like super destructive. There's an interesting plot path you could take with that. On the other hand, this could also be super destructive. Try this one. I'll try to follow up on that. Should end up even worse this way. Yeah, that's a good screen. The game's done a good job building up to that. I picked I Love You. It's a very dangerous choice. Exceedingly dangerous choice. Rain clouds aren't going away. I know, right, Spiky? No, it fit pretty well in that sequence. Yeah, every faceless protagonist. Even if I get really, really sad, this is the best thing for me, right? Like a bunch of thorns. Interesting. So this is super interesting. This game might actually have a good message to it, which I wasn't expecting. I was kind of expecting a Five Nights at Freddy's-esque. I mean, it could still go that direction. There's a reason why the kids these days are super into it, right? But Undertale has the same thing going for it, where Undertale has like a pretty good message that's not super on the nose. And the kids are still like, oh man, genocide, wow! And they're like, did you play the game? Stay of the festival. All days for the one to be walking to school with Sayori. She isn't answering her phone. Uh-oh. It's not good. It's pronounced Sands. Weebular. She overslept again, that dummy. I used to do a pretty good, like, pushes glasses up nerd voice, but it really bothers my wife because it's too on the nose nasally. Try not to do it. I started doing the same, like, nasally nerd impression, but replacing it with, like, a dumpy bear voice. It's pronounced Sans. Lack of music here is interesting. This could go bad. Too on the nose. Great. I like Undertale a lot. It's great. I find that there's a lot of little fandoms like that, like Rick and Morty, Tool, Kanye. It's like the art is really good, but the fandom is a little toxic sometimes. Whoa. I do what I know is best for you. I listened to everything she said to me. I show you how much I love you. Finish writing this poem. Poem's never actually finished. It just stops moving. Ooh. Yeah, all communities have their fringes. It's true. I think it's sort of a situation where sometimes the fringe of a community can drive out the rational people from it, and it just makes itself more and more fringe. Some communities are less resilient to that than others. Yeah, and it's a vocalness thing too, right? It's like people who are generally happy and chill tend to not post 6-paragraph diatribes about things. It's the old silent majority concept. Hallway. Uh-oh. Here we go. Yeah, they're doing a great job of pacing this with no music and the multiple scene changes. If they do the Goosebumps thing where you walk in and she's fine and she just overslept, I don't think that's going to happen, though. Uh-oh. Yep. Oh, wow. The sudden scene shift there is pretty good. Exception has occurred. Did something like this in my D&D game. Welp? I can see why they have the warning at the beginning. I guess someone that friend zones her feels even worse about that. Suppress the urge to vomit. I shouldn't have confessed to her. And then you load the save and you do the opposite and it still happens, I bet. This is a good game. It's a better way to do that, too. This isn't some game where I can reset and try something different. Hence the auto skip option. I felt like they should have concealed that skip option from me. I thought maybe they were going kind of in that direction. I appreciate that prop. Yeah, I could see that being pretty bad for somebody. That's a much better direction than I thought. I thought it was going to go. Just like, shocking. Okay, so now we try to redo everything and perfectly save Sayori. Oh, what's this? New game. The corrupted music. Right on. This is cool. Do I, though? This is really neat. It's miserable, let me be clear. I'm smiling big. Oh, hi, Jay. Did you want to join the stream?
Yeah.
He's been sitting silently out of my vision, not saying anything for like a couple hours. Just been waiting for him to speak up. What's up, man?
Hey. Oh, your wheels is like right on the board. Right.
Use that one either. Just plug it in.
Work?
Yeah, it works. Okay. He's been sitting here for the whole stream, off in the distance. Was adding a little bit to the freakiness. Okay, a lot of the dialogue's the same, but it's not all exactly the same. At this point, is there a way? I saw there was a setting that said something about auto-advancing text. Oh, unseen text. So can I have it so it auto-advances until something's different? Is that what that's implying? You can go ahead and answer that question. I know that's maybe kind of sort of a spoiler. Yeah, it's mostly different, right? Because Monika's the one that's founding it instead of Sayori. So if Skip isn't grayed out, I can use it, basically. Like how the character doesn't seem to remember. I like the little comment, you can't just reset. It's old text if it's not grayed out. Okay, thank you. Today marks the day I sold my soul to Monika and her irresistible smile. It's girl 1 and girl 2. This text must be slightly different too. Some of it's the same. Prop, I see why you wanted me to try to get to that turn in the first session, right? Rather than do a 2-hour session and be like, well, that was a game. That was a good turn, too. It's actually a little bit more serious. I thought they were just going to do some goofy... They seem to be planting the idea that it was going to go the direction of just like a Japanese horror or like a demon summoning thing with Yuri reading all the weird books. They're good distractions. So it seems like what I anticipate the point of this game might ultimately be is if you know someone in your life that committed suicide, the thought of going back and trying to re-simulate everything, think about all the words you said, the time you didn't spend with them, and try to fix it, and then just have it be unfixable. What's Bible Black? I think that makes it a better game. It could have really gone Silent Hill and been kind of like, yeah, okay, whatever. A lot of this is the same as before, but it's still grayed out. Oh, I'm not asking, I'm just ruminating. But I guess now it must have been kind of close to on the nose, so... Yeah, if I'm just talking out loud, speculating, don't comment on my speculation if it's anywhere near the truth. Or way off. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Interesting. Oh, okay, Bible Black. Very good. Thank you. Hentai? Alright, I'm good. You're 14, I guess you should. Kid over here snickering. No shame.
It's next generation now.
I'll have you know, in my day and age, walk uphill both ways. You gotta get a Sears catalog and hope for the best. You live in a golden age, young man. You're good, Mario. So far, this dialogue is mostly the same. Maybe been a couple changes. The fact that Sayori's not in the room. You need 4. Did they say they needed 5 last time? Sayori was just trying to include me to have an extra person. Be super pissed. They said 4 last time? Okay. The game would be kind of powerful too if it just stopped and that was just the ending. Didn't add any extra content in a New Game Plus playthrough. But it seems like playing through it multiple times is pretty key to the dating sim genre, right? I wonder if they're going to take it. I'm guessing a lot of dating sims to get like the harem ending, you probably need to read a walkthrough, right? Today I cut my skin open for the first time. It was exhilarating. I think I understand how blank feels now. I'm supposed to be the responsible one though. So I don't think I'll be doing it again unless I decide to kill myself. I left a memento of the occasion below. So, why is this game popular with the kids? Are they just... Why is this game popular with you kids?
Because it's abnormal.
Yeah? Did you learn anything from this game? Don't... Okay, that might be a spoiler. I guess my point is I hope you learned something from this game. I hope that it wasn't just, I'm gonna do genocide and I'm gonna kill all the animals, it's gonna be great. like, this game is actually doing a pretty good job. Anyway, it's not fair to make Jaden the voice of the youths. Sorry. Alright, I wonder if me being overly positive last time was part of the problem. Let's try doing the opposite since we did all positive last time. Yeah, the other thing they're trying to show you is that all her poems were among the most positive. Fate Stay Nights. Please respond to the crimes of your generation. Oh, I feel bad. Fester is a good word. Let's see, he didn't run away from us. Oh, did you step away, Yukupo? Holy crap. It was pretty well done. I can totally see why there was a bunch of warnings. She's in front of the dialogue. Ah, gotcha, Yukupo. I see. When I first loaded up the game to test the video settings for stream, I answered the whole disclaimer thing, and I was like, oh, well, I kind of want that disclaimer to show up when I start playing so I can comment on it. So I loaded the game back up immediately afterward, and the disclaimer was gone, and I was like, shit. So I uninstalled the game, reinstalled it, and it said, oh, it looks like you have a save file. Do you want to clear it? And I was like, fuck. But didn't completely give it away. I like there's a slight distortion on the music in that section there. I wasn't sure. I thought maybe it was just talking about putting the disclaimer back. But... accidentally. So far, this is all pretty much the same. Very nice, wholesome dating sim. Right. Okay, so it's still Portrait of Markov, the eye symbol. People trapped there have the trait that turns them into killing some machines that lust for blood. Wait, isn't this... This is way worse than it was last time. The facility gets worse, they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to do. It might be a bit of a spoiler. I'm really into it! It's kind of dark. Just a little bit. Just when I started skipping. Can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories. Yeah, I gotcha. The world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. Suddenly... Oops, my whole body. Okay. Sorry if I end up saying something strange. There's a lot of effort put into the New Game Plus graphics and stuff compared to what appears to be a complete lack of effort before the 2-hour mark, where it's just text. They don't sure care about showing a healthy relationship, they care about views. Yeah. Healthy relationships are challenging to represent in a really short time frame. I think that that's the deepest, most grave sin of Persona, is that you have 90 hours with these characters and you could develop a real non-superficial relationship in that time if you're going to require that they spend 90 hours with them, but they're all ultra superficial. It bums me out that they didn't take advantage of that. Maybe Persona 5 is better, finally. 3 and 4 they're just all tropes. Bathing in the feeling of your body heat. Does that not even show in the history? Totally doesn't. Perfect. It scrolls automatically, too. The biggest problem, I think, is that there's just not enough time. A healthy relationship is something that's built on a bedrock of hundreds of hours, and any fictional attempt to capture that is going to have to use shortcuts, and the shortcuts can be pretty psychologically damaging, I think, when you think that that's how a real relationship works. The holding the boombox outside the window, you know, giant romantic gestures. Alright, this is I'm worried that this is going to be... This game hasn't really done jump scares yet. I heard that, bud.
It's just a little response.
Hi, Ben. Can we help you? Are you so miserable? He's just so hungry. He's never eaten before. wants waffles so badly. He's mad. He does this every stream now at about 4:15, 4:30 Pacific. My breathing. Mm-hmm. Alright, Ben. Not really. I'm sure you didn't do anything to her. And Monika is like secretly bullying and torturing all of them. He was still there. I wanted to know I'm putting in effort. It's interesting that there's so many games that are break the fourth wall that are fairly dependent on the concept of saving and loading your game, right? We've now played 3 or 4 of them. I guess it's one of the most interesting things to explore. It's different from like reading a book or watching a movie. It's like a lot of people at basically the same time had this idea, narrative idea. Totally given up on people. Concerned about Monika. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings. My burned eyes could no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper, the sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears? The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen. Interesting. So that's like a continuation of the last hole in the wall. Big smile. It's very freeform. No, it's fine, sir. Ben, please don't knock the monitor over. There's an epiphany that's been influencing my poems. Your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. You try so hard to make it perfect, you'll never make any progress. Oh, now there's a skip button. It must be the stuff like that that's drawing the youths of today. I think the game just keeps progressing from there. Really? That doesn't always happen? Interesting. Monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly. People can try, but that's about it. That's the same as last time. You have to make a counter for that, right? Number of times I make Jaden answer for his generation. Some of the stuff is semi-random. That's cool. It's a good way to do it. Oh, skip. Jade and Youth of Today, Nico. Now, if she had different text in her poem, it wouldn't skip it, right? Yeah, they might be doing something cool with the skip here, too. I could see if Yuri's gonna be the next victim. She's the only one we can skip. I like the discordant music there, too. Think of using the skip button as part of your design space for your narrative. It won't skip anything new. Okay. Monika's is the only one that's different. Hmm. Screw with speedrunners. They're fighting, but Sayori's not here to break them up. Edgy bitch.
Oh ho! Perhaps I could try some rolling.
Cut yourself on that edge. How did I get dragged into this? Whoever I agree with. That's great. My D&D campaign, I did an Insanity event, and I had them go to like an Internet Explorer error page and played like Ultra Twisted Friday by Rebecca Black. It was pretty effective. The sequence is on YouTube. I can post a timestamp to it at some point if people are interested in seeing it. But it's a fun way. Fourth wall breaking is a fun way to communicate insanity in fiction. I feel like I've seen it in video games. Not so much outside of that. You kind of do it with Deadpool and the comics, right? Looks like they're done. Oh no. I don't like this. Be the last one out. She's vice president in this one. Kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. Yeah. They did a really good job of planting, if that's in fact where they're taking it, that Monika is bullying whoever the vice president is into suicide. I think that's the direction that it's taking. It goes straight into this. Now, the character that's pleased by the word you select is the one that's jumping in the corner. Is that true? I guess you can answer that now that we're on our New Game Plus playthrough. If I had picked negative options during the first session, would it have made Sayori jump? That might not be the point, because she wasn't writing about negative things at the time. Homestuck is a comic that has problems of fighting with the fourth wall even is. I know, right? I remember getting into Homestuck because because I was reading the old MS Paint's Adventures, the Problem Sleuth. It got pretty crazy pretty fast. Even Problem Sleuth was pretty sweet. I think towards the end of Problem Sleuth, he stopped accepting user inputs. Randomizing it is a clever way to... They didn't have to script as much, which is still freaky. If you turn on auto, does it just scroll through text after a certain amount of time and it auto skips skippable stuff? I'm okay with clicking right now, I'm just having to kind of keep my eye on the skip button. Maybe that's the standard control. Auto skips everything. Whatever's on your mind, I'm sure it was nothing. See how that's incredibly dark. Oh man, that's crazy. Love that the music doesn't change for any of that. Maybe late. Looked kind of like it. I see. Sure. This cat. Oh, now you leave. Don't knock the thing over.
I see.
I see.
I see. I see.
I see.
I see. I see.
I see.
I personally think that Monika is a bully. Heart just won't stop pounding. Stop it, Ben. And there's right ways to do a fourth wall break, I feel like. Marty, what are you doing climbing up on the couch? Here we go. Ready? Okay. Oh, jeez. Yeah, she's cutting her arms. Yikes. That way of presenting that is... It's like she very quickly hit it. She's been doing it the whole game. When nothing can possibly go wrong. It's the first thing that's ever gone wrong. Doo-doo-doo. This is a fun, happy game. Your posture, right? They're not dropping it even after the game got serious. That's fine. I guess it creates a weird, uncomfortable dichotomy, right? I feel like having those two things conflicting at once makes it a lot more disturbing. My bad. Have the Japanese adopted My Bad? I feel like that's Joss Whedon coined it, didn't he? Or at least popularized it. Mea culpa. It's a weird thing to do. Yeah. Goes the music. She can have a heart attack. The darkened screen there, the actual eye physics. Wow. And just show people poems again. Okie dokie. Saw something you weren't supposed to see. I don't have to tell you this. I don't think I have a choice. It's getting dangerous for you to spend so much time with Yuri. Shouldn't be a problem in itself. She finds a place to hide and starts cutting herself with a pocket knife. Isn't that kind of messed up? That's not a thing you say about somebody that cuts themselves. She gets a high from it. It might be a sexual thing. Oh, wow. That's not funny. You ever find out somebody is cutting themselves? It's not a funny thing, okay? Don't be Monika. Don't be Monika, Jay. Okay.
Listen, I've already...
I know. Doki Doki is not Okie Doki. Colors they want. Bright, beautiful colors. Flashing, expanding, piercing, red, green, blue. Endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise that won't stop. Violent, grating. Squeaking, screeching, piercing, sine, cosine, tangent. Like it's very close to the old poem with a bunch of characters missing. Chalkboard on a turntable. Interesting. Delete her. Was unload. Find yourself facing a difficult decision. Don't forget to save your game. You never know when... Who am I talking to? Can you hear me? Tell me you can hear me. Anything. It's very one shot. Take out people may think that they just don't do anything, and they may actually say that, yeah. I'm not stupid. I know how much time you're spending with Yuri. Why are you even in this club? Yeah, I don't think the thing you pick means anything. It's not weird at all. A rotating wheel, turning an axle, grinding, bolt head, a linear gearbox, falling skies, 7 holy stakes, a docked ship, a portal to another world, a thin rope tied to a thick rope, torn harness, parabolic gearbox, expanding universe, time controlled by slipping cogwheels, existence of God, swimming with open waters in all directions, drowning, a prayer written in blood, a prayer written in time-devouring snakes with human eyes, a thread connecting all living human eyes, a kaleidoscope of holy stakes, exponential gearbox, a sky of exploding stars, God disproving the existence of God, a wheel rotating in 6 dimensions, 40 gears and a ticking clock, a clock that ticks 1 second for every rotation of the planet, a clock that ticks 40 times every time it ticks every second time, a bolt head of holy stakes tied to the existence of a docked ship to another world, a kaleidoscope of blood written in clocks, a time-devouring prayer connecting a sky of 40 gears and open human eyes in all directions. Breathing gearbox, breathing bolthead, breathing ship, breathing portal, breathing snakes, breathing God, breathing blood, breathing holy stakes. Breathing human eyes, breathing time, breathing prayer, breathing sky, breathing wheel. 20xdx guy's pretty good at poetry, man. That's distressing. Doesn't really matter what it's about. I really like the way it writes, so I wrote this. Now you're touching it. Yeah, it's like they're kind of exploring how, in a lot of ways, how the obsessiveness of these characters in dating sims isn't healthy. I can't convince myself to go to therapy when I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'd rather keep this up until I blow my cover and someone takes me to the emergency room. That's super real. It's kind of Andrea's situation. She is not going to play this game. Should have joined the anime club like MC Kun wanted to in the first place. Be complacent. Place so intimate you never want to leave. For sure, Propagable. I think she'd be okay. My dad absolutely can't play this game. He has really severe PTSD. So I'm glad it's there. I'm glad so far none of it's spooky occult stuff. It's mental illness stuff. They did a pretty good misdirect with that, especially with the books Yuri was reading in the first playthrough. Oh no.
Yeah, I wonder if I go in and say, what if I say kawaii? Kawaii. Don't ever do that again, Marstead.
Ben, I'm begging you, please don't knock the monitor over. He did it last week, I just happened to catch it in time. One of these days he's going to knock it all the way back. And it's going to be the end of all things. You done? Bye, Ben.
Marty.
He's such a Marty. Ben, destroyer of streams.
What did he do?
He keeps trying to knock the monitor over. You're on camera, Andrew. Somebody turned on cat hype. Cat cam.
Corporal snuggling.
He's so happy with that. Aw. Marty's gotten a little bit better at fighting Ben. This is bad, no kidding.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes.
I love our cats too. They're very cute. I see. So I'll go home for today. We'll talk about the festival tomorrow. I would take that the wrong way. Whenever the music drops, I get worried. I like the film grain effect. It's getting progressively more intense. Ben, stop it. That's cool. This is a cool game. Oops, I double clicked. I'm waiting for you. Ready to continue reading? I brought my best tea today. You know, Propagable technically has about a quarter of an hour at the end, and since we kind of just finished a chapter, I think I'm going to pause it here, and then we'll throw the extra 5 minutes on next time. It'll just have a round ending of the stream for next time. And we'll pick up next time. We'll be playing this again tomorrow. Thanks to everybody for hanging out. If you're new